today. Crazy out there on the Bell Parkway. This guy almost killed us all. Oof, I almost died. And I thought about the time I almost died in Barbados, kayaking. Yeah, I'll tell you the story. I'm not sure I'll tell you the story. But anyway, but I remember I went to a conference and the guy said, let me lower this. I'm sorry. And the guy said that the most dangerous thing that people do every day, daily, is get in a car and drive. And I was like, that's interesting. I don't know what the statistics are, whatever. But he gave them, he said, every day the most dangerous thing is getting in a car. And then getting in a car in New York. And getting in a car in New York in the snow and, blah, blah, blah. So it was crazy. So, but it made me think about that. I almost died in Barbados. And just thinking about my life and where I come from and what I got to lose. I got an incredible wife, incredible children, incredible grandchildren, dogs. I got real close family and friends, I got very intimate connections. I'm a connected guy. We teach people in the recovery coaching world, and, when I work with clients and in recovery, that addiction is about isolation and recovery is about connection. And in the 5th step or the 12 steps, there's this divine order that nobody, it doesn't say it's divine order, but if you know, you know. And it says that we admit it to God. So God is the first and most powerful and most important and most significant connection. God to ourselves and another human being. So that's interesting because, excuse me one second. Excuse me. God, self, and that's divine order. My connection with God. When I drink or use a substance, or eat ice cream or watch something I'm not supposed to watch or do, when I act out in one of my defects, when I sin, the first thing I lose is that connection. The first thing that's affected is that connection with God. That's the most important connection. Then self. Right? I'm hurting myself. There's this thing called cognitive dissonance. And I know better, but I'm not doing better. And it affects my relationship it affects my connection with myself. And that creates turmoil inside of me. And I feel shame and guilt and the inner critic beats me up. The devil and the flesh, they get together. The disease is the flesh, and they condemn, always looking for any moment where it can accuse me. You're a piece of garbage. You see, you're not a good recovering person. You're not a good Christian. You're not even saved. And, always looking to condemnation, to separate me further, pull me further from God. So just thinking about, life, recovery, and it's about connection. And God, if you're a Christian, God doesn't want you just to believe. Believing is absolutely essential. He wants you to belong. And more important, he wants you to be, which is, that's not what this talk is about right now. I'm thinking about my life. And how many times I almost missed it all. Like I have near-death experiences when I was young. The first time somebody put a gun to my head, 12 or 13, let's say, on the Greenpoint and Manhattan Avenue, somebody put a gun to my head and they wanted me to get in a car, and I wasn't going to get in no car. Kill me right here was my thought. I'm not getting in no car. I watched movies with people in warehouses being tortured, and I said, I'm not going to get tortured. And so, but, the Rastafarians almost killed me. The Dominicans almost killed me. The Puerto Ricans almost killed me. The list of people that would almost kill me is pretty long. I almost died in kayaking. I almost died on a plane. I almost died in Africa. They almost killed me. And so I have many near-death experiences, like many people. If you think about it, we survived a lot of stuff. And so especially if you're in recovery, if you come from addiction, the overdoses, the car accidents, the shootouts, depending. So anyway. I have a great life, man. I have a great life. Forget the pastor, forget the international best-selling author, forget the coaching, Now, we'll talk about that. Yeah, but a regular dude, a drug addict, a straight drug addict, from when I was 9 to 17, addiction. I'm never gonna do that, did that. Okay, I'm never gonna do that, did that. I'm never gonna be like dumb, I became like dumb. I'm never gonna, did it all. Addiction took me places I didn't want to go. There's this saying, like a Gucci saying, right? It says this, that addiction will take you further than you want to go. It'll keep you longer than you want to stay, and it'll cost you much more than you was willing to pay. Right? So that's drugs and alcohol. And then you get clean and sober. You become a Christian like me, or whatever your path is. Now the defects will take you further than you want to go. They'll keep you longer than you want to stay, and they cost you much more than you was willing to pay. Right? That's the defects. And I've been doing 3-4 weeks on the 6th step. I do workshops on the steps on Zoom. It's professional, so you got to pay for it. It's not free. I know that turns a lot of people off. No problem. It's not for you. It's for people that want to go deeper into the step work, that value my experience, my time, So, but I do a workshop on the steps on Zoom, and we're talking about the 6th step and the defects and the shame and the guilt that the defects are trying to find relief for, and the original pain in the 4th step and the lies in the 5th. Very powerful, very powerful. And so, but these defects, these sins, depending what your verbiage is, they're both synonyms, different languages. This is Christianese, this is recovery-ese, right? Recovery-ese. So in recovery, we call them defects. In the church, we call them sins. They take you places you don't want to go. And I tell people all the time, the drugs, the substances, all the types of wet, dry, white, brown, it made my life unmanageable. My life was very evident that it was unmanageable. No education. I sold my blue sheepskin coat, blah, blah, blah. My life was unmanageable. Everybody could see I went to jail, and then from jail I was in the Bing, so I couldn't even be in general population. They put me in isolation because I was anyway. So my life was very evident to everyone that my life was unmanageable. That's not for everybody. Some people go to school, some people go to work, it's not evident to people that their lives are unmanageable, but they have inner unmanageability. They have mental unmanageability, emotional unmanageability, relational, spiritual unmanageability, financial unmanageability, So, but it's not evident to everyone. So my unmanageability was evident. So the drugs, the substance, the alcohol, or the primary symptom of your addiction, because addiction has many faces. We teach that in the Recovery Coach training course, that addiction has many faces. For some people is a drug. For other people, it's a different drug. For other people, it's alcohol. For other people, it's food. For other people, it's sex and love. For other people, it's hoarding. For other people, it's working. For other people, addiction has many faces. There's a primary symptom. And then when you address a primary symptom, you have all these other symptoms that you don't know about until you address a primary symptom. So, praise the Lord. So check it out. Hello, people saying hi. Hello, say hi. God bless you. Say hi, God bless you. I can't see too good without my glasses. Where are my glasses? Let me put on my glasses. You people probably never see me with my glasses on. All right, very good. I see you. So, God bless you all. So addiction doesn't care if you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, atheist, Kabbalah, this, that, whatever. Addiction don't care about if you got money, you don't got money. We say if you graduated from Yale or you came out of jail, if you slept on a park bench or you live on Park Avenue, it doesn't care. The addiction will ravage you despite all the differences that can be identified amongst us, right? So it's very, very important that you guys understand that this thing is not going nowhere. I know people think, they're looking for a cure. Addiction is progressive, it's incurable, and it's fatal. And you got to understand it. If you don't understand it, then you don't understand it. You don't know what I'm talking about. So you put down the primary substance or the primary symptom, and then you're left with all the other aspects of addiction. They said that if you take a drunken horse thief, and you sober him up, what are you left with? Put in the chat real quick. Put in the chat. If you take a drunken horse thief and you sober him up, what are you left with? I don't know if you know. God bless you guys. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I almost died today. I'm grateful I'm not dead. You're left with a sober horse thief. You take a drunken horse thief and you sober him up. Now you got a sober horse thief. So he still needs to change his behaviors. He needs to change his way of thinking. He needs to change his ideas. He needs to heal from his past. He needs a connection with God, a healthy connection with God, a healthy connection with self, a healthy connection with others. That's what recovery is about, is a healthy connection with God, self, and others. Right? The greatest need everybody in the world has is to be loved and to love, which is very difficult depending what context you grew up in. So I almost died. I'm here with my dogs. I'm grateful I didn't die. I'm grateful that I've done so much work on myself, that I've been able to do work on myself. And the work is healing. The work is joyous. The work, it might be difficult, but the most difficult part is over. I went through whatever I went through. Right? If I'm dealing with issues that happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I'm 40 years ago, at least I'm dealing with those issues. Most people don't know they have issues. And I'm getting free and I'm being blessed and I'm experiencing the freedom and the healing, and I'm able to change my mind about a lot of things that I believed. I'm able to change my mind and change my belief and grow and mature and experience new levels of deep, profound freedom and healing. And thank God I didn't die today, because I'm going to Florida today. I'll be in Fort Lauderdale. I'm doing